Alright, let's put this gearbox, or pull it apart, put it back together. RB gearbox, RB belt housing, 300ZX gearbox. Let's do that. Okay. Front plate off first, then we can go to these 14mm bolts. We've got them out already. Just gonna pry that off. That's it. Ah, nice. All the bolts are out. Taking this circlip off because I'm not sure that might need to come off because they might not let it slide over. So let's do some whacking and prying and see if this comes apart. Alright, so that was a pain in the ass, but we got it out. Turns out I forgot this big ass clip, circlip. I missed that, so there's 3 circlips. But here it is, all the gears. Seems alright. I didn't have to undo that actually, but I did anyway. I had to undo this this detent, which was right here. Another one, that's the old one. So that's the 300ZX one. This is the RB25 R34 one. So swapping that to that. So I've cleaned that up. I've cleaned this surface up kinda. It's kinda hard. This wasn't really supposed to split, but I'm gonna try and jam some silicone in there and let that tack up a little and then put it onto that and bolt it up. Let's do that. Alright, that's all gooped up. That one's all gooped up just in case, and the inner one is gooped up. So let's see if I can manhandle this under that without wrecking myself and the gearbox. It's beautiful. Oh. Whoopsie. Let's put the bolts in. Alright, bell housing bolts are done up nice and tight. Let's just drop it. I've done up the front plate bolts, not that it really matters because I'm gonna have to change that one anyway. That's the original 300ZX VG30 one, which I'm not sure if it's right or not, but it's push type, which is what I need. So I might have to do some measurements on another gearbox that would have a push type clutch. So I'll just leave that in there for now. It needs to be gasketed anyway, so that's come off either way, but it's all there. I just wanted to make sure everything was on there. Okay, so that's all done. Let's get this out of here. Alright, now that we are back on the 300ZX, we got the bell housing swapped over on the gearbox. I got a little ahead of myself and I kind of put it on the engine already, as you can see, and the engine in the car. Now, I have also bolted it up, as you can see, the factory gearbox mount to the chassis, and this is where the engine sits. So yeah, that's where the engine sits, which, rude, is not great. It's a bit close. Like, look at all the space we got back there. We've got room to come back. What's stopping us at the moment is the oil pan. So we're gonna do some cutting. We're gonna cut up the subframe. I don't know how much. We'll mark where on each side of the subframe where it needs space, and I don't know, we'll just cut little by little and see how much we need to bring it back enough to be kind of close to the firewall, but also, you know, enough to have a good amount of clearance here, because we need space for the CAS here, the cam angle sensor, and, you know, pulleys and stuff. So let's mark it, take the engine out, and continue. Cutting, maybe a bit of welding if we get to that point, hopefully, we'll see. This is awkward. Don't hurt myself. Woo. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's quite long. It'd be nice if it was a BMW transmission. It'd probably only go to like there. Alright, let's lower that so it doesn't fall off. I'm gonna go have a heart attack. Alright, I got my marks. I'm gonna cut in between here and here. I reckon I'll cut pretty well to where these, plus these holes. And then I'll have to weld some stuff up. I'll probably have to, for a little bit more clearance, go like on an angle. Yeah, and see how well that fits. Let's do some cutting, yeah? Let's blow this blade up into my eyeball. Yeah, shall we? Oh yeah. Oh, I need to cut. I need to cut more. Get out of it. Oh yeah. There you go. Oh my gosh. Alright. I'm not great at cutting upside down, I guess. Jeez. We'll clean that up. Don't worry. Okay. Well, there's a good chunk out of it. I did say I'd start little, but oh well. Whatever. I got sweat dripping in my ear. How good. Alright. We've got a cut, so let's put it back in. Again. Alright, we got back a decent amount more. Now that cross member's been chopped, you can see where it's hitting. So we've got still got some room to come back there. And some more space at the front would be nice, and also the closer back we go, the closer the arm will be. I might still end up getting some different arms that get it closer to like here, because we won't be able to use that one, the original one, but a full plate that sandwiches between the subframe mount and then have it come out to about like here, and then hopefully, you know, put a mount there. And figure something out, but to get it closer anyway. But we're getting somewhere. This is progress. So I'm gonna drop the jack back down because it's currently holding up the gearbox, and get the engine back out. Might see if I can cut a little bit more off to get it just that little bit further back. Further back we go, the better, because better weight distribution as well. So let's try that. Let's get this thing properly mounted. Taking too long for this, but anyway, I have some engine mounts. These are just E36 BMW mounts, rubber mounts, so not perfect, but they'll give me an idea of, you know, height and whatever. I have swapped out this engine arm to a R32, RB25 or R33 engine arm, because this one that I had from a stage year was actually pushing this side, well, the mount was way too far forward, so it would have had a massive gap up like here. So swap to that, and now it comes pretty close to the cross member. So I've got this cardboard. I'm gonna lower the cross member, stick this in there, and then tighten it back on it, and basically make a template for this. And I've got a big piece of sheet metal, and we will drill and cut that up to make basically like a foot for the mount to sit on. It's not really an engine arm, just like a foot. Kind of just like, I could even like make it like a, I could even like box this part of the subframe, but I think we'll just start with that and see if that's strong enough. So let's see. Alright, I've got the plate there, and, well, not plate, but cardboard. Same with that one. I've got them basically like the studs for the subframe would have pierced through there, so I can put it straight onto the piece of metal and drill there. That one's gonna have to come down a lot more before I can even get the right angle of the yeah, so that will be interesting. I'm not sure how I'm gonna go about that, but I'm just gonna start with this one. This one's a lot flatter as well, although this whole thing needs to go over that way. Alright, so there's our plate, a piece of metal. We'll flatten that out and basically mark that up. And so that's the hole for the cross member. I might as well, you know, chuck another nut and bolt in there for more strength, and there's the cross member ones. So let's try and mark this out as neat as possible. Not sure how well it's going to go, but without it moving, don't mind my knee there. Okay, that marker's trash, or it just doesn't like it being wet. Close enough. Right, I've drilled the holes, so hopefully they fit. Now, time to grind. Okay. Cut. There we go. There's our plate. Now let's see if it fits. Right, so there's one plate and the other. So that is what the feet look like. Now it would probably be a good idea to bend them so that it follows like the contour or whatever of the cross member. Otherwise it'll just be very flat and not great. So I'm going to mark that and might be able to try and bend it. We'll see. Okay, so I've measured out where I need bent. It's a bit crooked, but you don't need to worry about that in both of them here. And I have my angle of what it needs to be bent at. I should probably do the other side as well, but that should be... Yeah, I'll do the other side as well. Yep, good thinking. Smart. Alright, well, there we have it. We have our two, I don't know, pedestals, engine arm pedestals, bent. Alright, now that we've got those little feet in there, pedestal things, the engine is sitting on them with the mounts. A bit, how you going? Like that one's mostly in there, but that one's way, like, I need to slot them basically, like how the original cross member is slotted. I probably look like a mess right now. It's because I am. Yeah, original cross member is like slotted up and down, so probably to get the thing in, the engine arms in, mounts in easier, so I'll do the same for these. When I take them out, it'll make it a lot easier to get in and probably sit a lot better. But just the fact that they're holding, you know, the weight of the engine quite nicely. And now that we have that where it's pretty well going to sit, also pretty centered. There's that's like the center of the, you know, crank is right there. That's pretty centered, and it's got the right lean as well, because the cam is supposed to be in line with the crank, the intake cam. I assume just because we got the same angle that the cross member has as the that with those like pedestal that we made, so pretty happy with that. Not gonna lie, I didn't expect it to turn out this well. So that's a massive step, which is great. All right, so we got it mounted. I know I need to get some shorter mounts for it to sit on, so that it brings it lower. We've got some space underneath, but I guess we might be going with the front sump, not the rear sump. I'm all over the place, but oh well, it's happening. It's all happening. Yep. Hopefully soon we can start on my wiring. I still need to pull this back out and torque up the cams, and no, I've done the cams. I need to do up the timing belt, the full timing kit. So I still need to do that before it can run, and get an oil pan gasket kit and all the accessories. But you know, we're getting there with it being bolted in, so that's nice. So let's leave it there. Hooroo.